Well, what's up there, LEGO fans? Welcome back. Alex here. In this video, we finally get to do an official review of the Avengers Tower. This thing has been teased and leaked for weeks now. Finally, the wait is over. Let's go ahead and get into this thing, shall we? This is the Avengers Tower. Set number 76269 contains 5,201 pieces, making it the 17th largest LEGO set in terms of piece count. And this will retail for $500 US and will be available to purchase as of November 24th. So yes, a Black Friday release. Now there's lots to talk about with this thing, but stay tuned to the end of the video because we're going to take this beast downstairs and place it in the city. As usual, we're going to start with the instruction books. There are 3 instruction books with this set, so yes, 3 people can build this at once. Book 1 has some fun information about the Avengers Tower from the movies as well as the design team. It's always good to see LEGO include interesting things for us to read in these more premium LEGO sets. After that, it is off into the build, which has 39 sections in total. Now, the back of these instruction books is also interesting because they have this fun progression of all the letters in Stark's name falling away, just leaving the iconic A for Avengers. As for the minifigures, well, there is a record amount. Makes me wonder if people will buy this just for the minifigures and then just pawn the building. The set includes 29 normal-sized minifigures. Then we have the Hulk and Ant-Man, who is in micro scale. To introduce them all, let's do an Avengers Tower roll call. We have Tony Stark, Iron Man MK7 with Tony in it, Iron Man MK6 with authentic battle damage, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Hawkeye, Wanda Maximoff, accent not included, Falcon, Vision with transparent legs, I gotta say those are really cool. We have War Machine, Pepper Potts, Wong is here too, and I'm Nick Fury. Dr. Cho, Eric Salvig, Tony Stark as a SHIELD agent, another SHIELD agent, Alexander Pierce, 1, 2, 3, 4, Chitauri, Ultron, Loki, and of course we got this massive Hulk smashing things up, and as an exclusive to this set, we also get Kevin Feige. I know, you guys were just like me. I know, you were just hoping for a Kevin Feige minifigure, and we got it. Thanks, LEGO. This is an interesting assortment for sure, and I love that in some cases we get duplicates of characters so we can recreate certain scenes from some of our favorite movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In case you're wondering, 14 minifigures have reversible faces. I do like reversible faces as they do add to the fun and playability of the set. I was a little disappointed that the heads of the 3 Tony Starks are all identical. Would have been cool to see them mix that up a little. So what do you guys think? Are these minifigures a good spread? Are there any characters missing that you think should be included? Let me know in the comments below. The Avengers Tower also comes with a lot of transparent clear elements to allow you to place your minifigures in action throughout the build. There are several connection points throughout the building to make this possible. Just about every single minifigure included in this set can be placed around or on the build. These elements will also accommodate these Chitauri vehicles that Loki flies around on while invading New York. These are nice but are quite simple. They do include a Leviathan as well. I think this monster looks very much like the ones depicted in the movies. However, it has been scaled down by, well, quite a bit. It is one of the 2 builds that remains separate from the building. The other one would be this Quinjet. Like the Leviathan, this has also been scaled back in size. Here it is next to the Quinjet from set number 76248. That is more minifig scale. As you can see, it is quite smaller. This is all done, of course, to allow it to fit on the iconic landing pad near the top of the tower. Even then, it is still a tight fit. It does allow room for a single pilot, but that is about it. The build experience on this was a lot of fun. It did not feel like this was a 5,000 plus piece set. It just really went quickly. It stayed interesting, and it was always fun to try and figure out what you were going to be building next as the tower got increasingly taller. There were some informational bits throughout the build, but these were more for the purpose of adding some light humor rather than tell you what certain Easter eggs were referencing. As expected, there was a decent number of stickers, but based on the size of the build, it didn't really bother me. The building is over 35 inches or 90 centimeters tall. It's on a 32 by 32 base plate, and it appears to be compatible with modulars, or more likely, the Daily Bugle. I actually grabbed my Daily Bugle to see how it compared. It definitely holds its own against the Avengers Tower. However, keep in mind that there is a $150 difference between these two sets. You won't be able to place this thing to the right of the Avengers Tower because that helipad just sticks out way too far. It does fit on the left of the Avengers Tower. However, it's a pretty tight squeeze. I think when I place this thing, it will definitely be far away from the Avengers Tower. After completing the build, it was an impressive thing to look at. I think I was just looking at this thing for several minutes, just admiring how amazing it looked. It really is a really nice looking building from all angles, really. But it is not without its faults. There's a few things that I don't really like here. Now, first off, the large amount of transparent window elements used in this means you're going to likely see some small scratches. Mine was no exception. Luckily, none of them were super obvious. I also did not like the fact that if you chose to display your Avengers Tower without the Hulk hanging from the side of the building, it's a little difficult to get the window elements placed back in line, not to mention all the extra parts to keep track of if you do this. One more gripe I have would be the large use of various sized trans light blue elements that are used throughout the angled separation from the dark gray windows. I feel LEGO could have used some inverted slope elements in the trans light blue color. If they did this, I think it would look a lot cleaner. Regardless, I think they did a great job following the design and the look of the Avengers Tower as represented in the MCU. Now let's take a look inside. To access the lower interior floors, we can remove this entire side wall. This wall fits very well and feels snug, despite it not connecting to any studs. To access the top floors, there are two removable panels near the roof. One is a section of windows, and the other is this curved panel that uses flexible elements to fit the needed curvature of the tower. And finally, at the very top, a small section of wall swings open. We'll start here at the bottom floor first, which is the lobby. The first thing I want to address about the interior is that there is no functional elevator. Like the Daily Bugle, the elevator is only a facade of bricks to mimic the doors and buttons. I also want to add that these doors are only represented in the first 4 floors. There's no depiction of any elevator in the top levels. The lobby is, of course, very nice. We have a fancy reception area, a couple chairs, and we even get a vending machine full of cold beverages. We also get the Tesseract here on the floor that is up for grabs, so this allows us to recreate even more scenes from the movies. The second floor appears to be a combination of Dr. Cho's research area, who had a lot to do with Ultron. The floor also squeezes in this glass bridge where we can recreate the fight scene between Captain America and himself in Endgame. The setup is meant to be at the end of the fight where the future Captain America makes the observation that, yes, this is America's tube side. The third floor is what I can safely assume is Tony Stark's workshop. We also have this robot, Dumb E, who is always making sure all fires are extinguished. There's also an arc reactor on display here on the toolbox. This floor also made the largest use of stickers with all of these screens along the back wall. The fourth floor area seems to be dominated by this large incubator that opens from the front. I'm not sure what this is supposed to depict. I thought it might be the cage that they had Loki in while he was on the helicarrier. This is where I need a Marvel expert, so leave a comment if you know the answer. There's also a computer sort of hidden towards the back here depicting the AI face of the late Dr. Arnim Zola. The list of Easter eggs never seems to end when building this. I'll also add that there are even a couple of Easter eggs completely sealed in the walls that only the builder will see. The next level is when things take a different turn. This is the largest level as it includes the landing pad. I believe the creators went for a recreation of the scene from Age of Ultron when they're all having a good time trying to lift Thor's hammer. I do like how they set up the bar here along the wall with various sizes of bottles. At this point, I do want to address my biggest issue with this set. The ability to access each level is very difficult. When I was trying to place minifigures in each of these floors to film, I struggled to get them in the areas towards the opposing wall. There's simply not enough room to fit our hands in these small spaces. A modular design would have been great here, but my guess is a modular approach would not have worked given the size and unique shape of the building. Regardless, this was very frustrating to me and really hampered my ability to take simple video of the interior. Even if you're not making a video review, I still think you'll find this a bit frustrating. The top two levels are much easier to access, and it's pretty obvious to see why. This small area depicts where the Hulk smashes Loki into the cement floor several times, leaving an imprint of his body. Unfortunately, this area is too small to really fit the Hulk, which makes recreating the scene nearly impossible. This is kind of a letdown to me. And finally, we have this very small but very tall room at the very top that contains an office dedicated to the study of Loki's scepter. Like the two floors below, there is no ladder or door that leads to this room. This floor shares the other half of its space to a balcony. At first, I felt like this disrupted the symmetry of the building, but I do like the fact that we can place some minifigures up here, getting a good view of the city below. There's a ladder along the wall that leads to the roof. Very little space up here, but here we have Eric Selvig using the device that he created to control the Tesseract that opens a portal to summon the Chitauri army. So that is my review of the new Avengers Tower. A big thank you to the LEGO Group for providing me this early copy for review. Now, before I take this thing downstairs, I want to make my recommendations. Now, to do this, I'm going to talk to two groups of people. First, you Marvel superfans out there. I think this is going to be an easy day one purchase for you, especially if they're going to give you that taxi gift with purchase as well. You're going to have a great time building this. You're going to understand all of the Easter eggs. You get this army of minifigures. I mean, 31 minifigures is incredible. So whether you're buying it for play or display as a Marvel superfan, you will get your $500 money's worth, no problem. However, if you're more like me, a casual fan of Marvel and a city builder, so you're looking for buildings like this that you'd love to put in your city, then it's a little bit of a different story. I think for me personally, the price point for this thing for me would be about $450. So yeah, that is a 10% difference between the actual cost of this thing. So I would look for ways to maximize the value for me, whether it's a gift with purchase, double insider points. And you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't be against finding this thing from a private seller who has stripped it of its minifigures and just doesn't want the building. If they were selling the building for just a couple $100, I would go for that because this building is incredible. The minifigures are great, don't get me wrong, but it's more about this building for me as a city builder. Now, I don't know that we would ever see this thing go on a discount. We've never seen the Daily Bugle go on a discount. If it did, I'd be surprised. But if it does and you see a 10% or more, then I think that's going to be a great deal for you. Anyway, guys, that is my recommendation. Take it for what it's worth. In any case, very happy to have this thing here. Let's take it downstairs and see how it looks in the city. And we are downstairs, and here it is, you guys. The Avengers Tower has been placed right where its predecessor was, the Avengers Tower mock, that has stood in the city for, I think, 7 years. A good 7 years it's been down here, so kind of sad to see that removed. Been replaced by this more sleek and modern-looking Avengers Tower. You know what, though? I gotta say, it looks a little short, doesn't it? Now that it's here among all these other big buildings and modulars. Wow. Now mine did benefit from a bigger base. It lifted up quite a bit. In fact, here's a picture of it next to the SIT complex. So take a mental note here really quick, right? See how tall it is next to the SIT complex, right? All right, we got that. Now look at it here. Definitely quite a bit shorter. So maybe I need to give the Avengers Tower a lift kit. Is there a lift kit for the Avengers Tower? I mean, in New York, I mean, the thing is towering over the Chrysler building, so it's huge, right? But when it comes to Minneapolis, well, I guess not so much. It's a great addition, though. I will give it that. Now, minifigures. I did not keep the minifigures in there. There's plenty of Avengers running around the city all over the place, so they will inhabit this Avengers Tower. I put all of the minifigures, all 31, in the display case over by the desk, and here they are. All of them fit here really, really nicely. This is quickly becoming my Marvel character only display case. The Hulk didn't fit, though. He's a little too tall, so he went into this other display case there because he has more headroom there. Also, here is where I have the sections of my predecessor mock, the Avengers Tower mock. Stay tuned because I'm going to do a video comparing this one and the new one, and also we got to make a decision on what to do with this thing because I'm not just going to hawk it. I want to do something with these pieces, because I think we can make an impressive building in the downtown area with all of these pieces. What do you guys think? I think so. But in any case, guys, that is the review and placement of the new LEGO Avengers Tower. Please let me know what you guys think about this thing by leaving a comment in the comments section below. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.